Hey all, I just got back from London not too long ago. It was actually a little while ago, but I just got around to researching these medals that I got at the Portobello Road flea market. And I thought while I do that, I should share with you how you should actually be researching these kinds of things, especially using Fold3 and other resources that you might have. So let's start at the very beginning. So once I got back to the States and I had these medals in hand, I decided to look over them. So this is a frontal view. This is a back view. And this is a view of the sort of sides of the medals on the bottom. We can see that the first medal has his name, Charles N. Hughes, on it. And his other has a lot more text. We can see that it says 322941, which is his British Army service number. We can see it says RGA, which is the Royal Garrison Artillery, which was part of the British Heavy Artillery, which were involved in like sieges and siege mortars and really heavy stuff, mostly on the Western Front, but all over the world. And we can see on the very end, it's also marked with his name. Basically, if you put it together, this means you can very easily positively ID this British soldier and who he was. These medals belonged to a serviceman in World War I who was part of the territorial defense. You can tell that by his serial number range. And you can also tell that on his constabulary medal, which is this one right here, that he was a special policeman before the war because it doesn't have a prefix on his name. A prefix in that case being his rank. So let's put this into Fold3 and see what we get. By this, I mean his Army serial number, his name, and any other information you might have. So this is what came up. We have his full record. And now let's look at what all this information actually means. It's only 2 pages, but it's quite a lot of information. So on the top left, we can see that it has his name, and then it says RGA for Royal Garrison Artillery. It then has his rank, and it also has his British Army service serial number, So now if we look at the bottom half of the page, we can see some more interesting info. So first off, it says Royal, which was supposed to stand for the muster book that he would have put his name in and everything when he signed up. And it documents what unit and everything else he was in. So this record was pulled, or the information for this record was pulled directly from that book. We can see that it says TF for Territorial Force, 111th RGA for Royal Garrison Artillery. That was his unit, the 111th. And that's all the information that this will provide us. But with a quick Google search, you can see that that unit saw a lot of heavy action on the Western Front all throughout the war. And so Fold3 actually costs money, so does Ancestry and a lot of these other tools that have these records. But a lot of time, information can be found on newspapers and other articles you can find online. Obituaries, Find a Grave is really useful for finding information. Those are just some of the sources that you can use to find information if you don't want to pay the Fold3 subscription. I personally don't, so I have my friend look the records up for me whenever I need it. And overall, a lot of the resources are available to you online for free. I found out what his unit did through a quick Google search. But I just wanted to show you a little story about some medals I got at a flea market in London. And I also just wanted to share my sort of research methods that I might use and how to go about it and read some of the records, especially if they have some similarities to Charles N. Hughes. Thank you and have a good day.